بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، سيدنا وحبيبنا وصاحب نعمتنا أبي القاسم محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين، واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين من حين عداوتهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. سيد الصوت مخنوق جاء يصيح صوت عالي، يعني الصوت مخنوق جاء يصيح صوت عالي. عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصاب أبي عبد الله الحسين. رزقنا الله وإياكم زيارة قبره في الدنيا، ورزقنا الله وإياكم زيارته لنا في قبورنا، ورزقنا الله وإياكم شفاعته يوم القيامة. قال الله في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ضرب الله مثلا للذين كفروا امرأة نوح وامرأة لوط كانتا تحت عبدين من عبادنا صالحين فخانتاهما فلم يغنيا عنهما من الله شيئا وقيل ادخلا النار مع الداخلين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. In light of the verse that I recited to you, it is where Allah uses two kinds of women. One kind that resembles kafir, and one kind that resembles the mu'mineen. And although I have not spent much time into studying theology and fiqh of Islam, but I have yet to hear a lecture, or I have yet to hear a sermon, or I have yet to hear anybody talk about a verse from the Quran that says that Allah uses a man as an example for all the mu'minat, or uses a man as an example for all the kafirin, where a man is an example for the females. But in this verse and the two verses that follow, Allah uses two females to represent the kafirin and two females to represent the mu'mineen. Now, the example that Allah uses for the kafirin is the wife of Prophet Nuh, the wife of Noah, and the wife of Lut, the wife of Nabi Allah Lot. Okay? Allah uses them as an example. They are the resemblance of kafirin, meaning that although these two women were married to prophets, that did not stop them from being the example for the kuffar. And the ayah continues to say they were married to two of our servants. Our servants, of course, one of Rasulullah's best nicknames or alqab is, and that's something that we use on a daily basis, about 10 times a day, on a minimum, 10 times a day, especially in Tashahhud al-Awsat or Tashahhud al-Akhir. So that would make it 9 times a day. When we say, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh, we put ibadah ahead of prophethood. So ibadah is got a level that is closer to Allah than it is to be the prophet of Allah. And on the same concept, on a different phase, but the same concept, that's what Imam Ali salamullah alayhi says, that it is, they asked him, what would you favor? being in a mosque or being in heaven? He says, of course I would choose being in a mosque over being in heaven. And when they asked him, why would you choose being in a mosque versus being in heaven? He said, because if I am at a mosque, I am pleasing Allah. But if I was in heaven, I am pleased. And I would much rather please Allah than pleasing myself. So, going back to the ayah says, كَانَتَا تَحْتَ عَبْدَيْنِ مِنْ عِبَادِنَا. These two women were married to two of our servants. فَخَانَتَاهُمَا. Now this is a word that carries more than one meaning. I'll give you an example and inshallah we'll come back to this. When we say in English, when we say the word right, R-I-G-H-T, is different than the word right that is, well, when I say right, R-I-G-H-T means you are free, you have the right to do something, or you are right, meaning what you just said was correct. And I can say take a right, which means to turn to the right side. One word, three different meanings. Now, this is just the English language. Imagine the words, the talks, the way that Allah wanted to communicate with us. Of course, those are the best words, of course they're the best words, but they're probably the simplest words for us to understand. And because Arabic, Al-Arabi in general, is a very, very deep language. It's very big. You know, they say one thing and it's got, one narration I heard from one of my teachers, Allah dhikra bil khair, he says, Arabic teachers, people who study Arabic literature, came to Sayyid al-Khu'i rahmatullah alayh. They said, Maulana, we would like an answer. Basically, whatever you can come up with, a very quick answer. We want you to write down the meaning of mudhammatan. In Surah Al-Rahman, there's a verse that is called mudhammatan. It talks about the meaning of, it describes the types of heaven. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. And then there is a verse, and then it says mudhammatan. So Sayyid al-Khu'i rahmatullah alayh, because he's so busy, he quickly jotted down 30 meanings to one word. One word had 30 meanings. Same thing when it comes to the word khana. Meaning in English, if you translate it, it can mean cheat. And of course, when we talk about cheating, there is the romantic cheating versus going in school and cheating on your test. It's different meanings. Yeah, it's the same word, but different concept. Some people say this cheating is, wal-'iyadhu billah, is the haram kind of cheating, and I don't want to get any deeper than what I just said. Our scholars, infinitively, from the day that there was something that was called the school of thought, the school of Imam al-Sadiq, salamullahi alayhi, until Yawm al-Qiyamah, until Judgment Day, every single Ja'fari scholar says this kind of cheating is not what everybody considers a cheating. The cheating that these two women did was not follow the Risalah, the schooling, the teaching of the prophets. That's the kind of cheating that these women did. The reason translation sometimes kills the meaning of sentences or some words, because once you translate it, it makes no sense. I don't know about you guys, but if you try to translate an Iraqi joke to English, it loses all meaning. Vice versa. Try to translate an English joke into Arabic, absolutely meaningless. Sometimes, and that's why a lot of Ja'fari scholars A lot of Ja'fari scholars say it is haram, or not haram, but it is nearly impossible to translate Quran. I'll give you an example. Al-Quran says, Yadullahi fawqa aydihim, right? If we were to go and translate this ayah, one word to one word, we say, the hand of Allah is above their hands. But that's only translating them one word to a word. One word to a word. Once you translate it, you didn't actually do justice to Quran. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Once it's translated, if you translate this verse, when you say, Yadullahi fawqa aydihim, and the hand of Allah is above their hands, that's just translating, but you missed the meaning. The meaning is Allah, of course, is infinitive, therefore Allah does not have physical hands. So what do we have to do? We have to translate the meaning, right? But once we talk about the meaning, we did not translate Quran, right? We didn't translate Quran. We told people the meaning of Quran. Therefore, it is nearly impossible to actually translate Quran. It is nearly impossible because it's same thing. You know, if you talk to our friends, our Christian friends, you know, when they talk about the Bible, the best Bible that they have is when it's in Roman, because this is the original, what they call the original script, right? Because this is how originally it was. Well, the thing about Quran. And there's one video that I watched. He says, let's take one sheikh, and he says, let's take all the Torahs in the world, and let's take all the Bibles in the world, and let's take all the Qurans in the world, and let's dump them all in the sea, and in 1 week we will have the Quran back, exactly just the way it was. That's one of the ayat of Quran, is the fact that it is memorized by so many people. But when it comes to other books, it's been translated, therefore it lost the meaning. Going back to this ayah, khiyana here is the same as, you know, when, let's say, my father tells me, I want you to take care of something for me, and I dishonor my father by not following what my father told me. In Arabic, this is called khiyana, because I didn't follow what my father told me. This is khiyana. When I promise you to do something, when I promise someone that I'm going to do something for you, and this is ahad between me and this one person. When I don't fulfill my ahad, my promise, this in Arabic is called khiyana. But in English, when it's translated, it's called cheating. But this is not the cheating that everybody here in the States understands. When I say I cheated my friend, you know, especially when we say on my friend, it makes a different meaning than the Arabic meaning of khiyana. Which brings me to a very, very delicate subject. And this is very sad, you know, where we have ulama, when we have, last night we were talking about our ulama and who teaches us and who we follow. Our school of thoughts is, first of all, we are Shi'atu Ali. We follow Ali ibn Abi Talib salamullahi alayh. And we have the school of thoughts, the school of Imam al-Ja'far al-Sadiq salamullahi alayh. That's why we are known as Ja'fari. And we not only do we follow the school of thought of Imam al-Ja'far al-Sadiq salamullahi alayh, we also follow 12 Imams. And that's why we are known by al-Ithna Ashari. Right? These three define who we are. We are Shi'atu Ali, Ja'fariya, Ithna Ashariya. We are not Ismaili, we are not Zaydi, we are not Waqifah. We are Shi'atu Ali ibn Abi Talib, Ja'fariya, Ithna Ashariya. When Imam Ali salamullah alayhi, after the battle of Jamal, the kind of respect he showed to al-Mu'mineen Aisha, this is something we take pride in. This is how Imam Ali respected Sayyida Aisha. This is how we all must respect Sayyida Aisha. This is what Imam Ali did when he was talking and about the other Sayyidat, مثلا Sayyidah Salama, when he was talking about the Sayyidah Hafsa, when he talked about Ayman Salamullahi alayhim. When we talk about them, the way that Imam Ali showed the respect to them, this is how we show respect. And this is something we learned from our scholars. And the top of our scholars is Imam Ali. And of course, after Rasulullah. We go back to saying that nobody measures to Rasulullah, but our first scholar is Al-Imam Ali Salamullah alayh. And if we put him as our number one scholar, this is how we follow. So, it is sad that sometimes we watch television and we watch, YouTube videos, we watch something, and we watch people and we hear people, they say, you Shia disrespect Sayyidah Aisha. And day in and day out, our scholars on a daily basis say, this kind of khiyana, we don't anticipate, we don't expect it that Allah would have such problem, because it's not easy to have this, this khiyana in the house of Rasulullah. We don't expect it for Nabi Allah Lut. We don't expect it for Nabi Allah Nuh Salamullah alayhim. And they are levels and levels below Rasulullah. How is it that we expect it for Rasulullah? We don't expect it for some people who are lower than Rasulullah. There is no way that we expect that or we allow that. And anybody that comes across anything like this in showing any kind of disrespect, we put a question mark. Simple. Because, and Allah Bikra bil Khair says, Sahib, 2 years ago when I talked to him, he said, why, if this is the wife of Rasulullah, if, wal-'iyadhu billah, there is something wrong between her and Rasulullah, that is between them two. Why should I put myself in the middle? We have a sheikh, one of the maraji' in Iraq. One day, the story goes, he divorced his wife. And of course, there's the, I believe it's 100 days, she has to wait, and he has to wait, that he can return his wife back, la samahullah, after a divorce. They came and asked him, Maulana, what happened between you and with your wife? What happened? Why did you divorce her? He said, there is no way I'm going to tell you. What if she and I agreed, to get back together? Why would I tell you my home secrets? I will keep these as secrets. So they said, when should we ask you after she's done with her? And then he says, it's up to you. You want to come back and ask me later? That's fine. So when she finished, the 100 days passed, they came and asked him. They said, Maulana, what was the reason behind you divorcing your wife? He said, well, now that she's no longer my wife, I can't talk bad behind people. She's a ghareeb. She's a ghareeba woman. I can't talk bad about her. This is the kind of scholars we have. If you expect a human being will not insult a wife that was his, 3 months ago she was his wife, okay? He would not talk bad about her. You expect people like that to talk bad about the wife of Rasulullah? Of course, we show respect to all the wives of Rasulullah. We have, we don't agree with her that she rose against her imam of her time. Much like, Al-Khalifa al-Awwal fought the people who rose against him. Same thing Imam Ali did. But at the same time, we show full respect to the Sayyidah Aisha, Sayyidah Hafsa, although Quran condemns some, وَإِذْ أَسَرَّ النَّبِيُّ إِلَىٰ بَعْضِ أَزْوَاجِهِ حَدِيثًا, this ayah, and it talks about what happened, the whole story. And even with that, we still respect them. We call them Sayyidah Aisha and Sayyidah Hafsa. But we do not, and it is absolutely haram. Come on, this is the wife of Rasulullah. And I dare anybody. Here we live in the States, okay? And mashallah, we say, we're strong and everything. I dare anybody that wants to mess and wants to talk bad about Sayyidah Aisha, I dare them to go to Saudi Arabia and talk one bad word about the wife of the king. I dare them. And if they're still alive, then they can talk about Sayyidah Aisha. Why is it that you can't talk about the king? Because the sword is, it's glittering. It's right there. You say anything about her, your head is off, right? But because it's Rasulullah is not here, mashallah, wal-iyadhu billah. Some people, I'm not saying all, but these people, the minute that they say anything about Sayyid Aisha, they're out of the question. So going back to the ayah, فَخَانَتَهُمَا. Now we're past this kind of khiyana. It's not in the ird. It is something that they did not follow the teaching of the Prophet. فَلَمْ يُغْنِيَا عَنْهُمَا مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا. This brings us back to, I believe 2 nights ago. They are the wives of prophets. But Quran says, although they are the wives of prophets, but that did not stop. فَلَمْ يُغْنِيَا. Their relationship to these prophets, فَلَمْ يُغْنِيَا عَنْهُمَا مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا. And then what happened? This did not help them. This did not allow them to receive the shafa'ah from these prophets. They didn't follow the prophets. They didn't listen to the teachings of the prophets. And what happened? وَقِيلَ ادْخُلَ النَّارَ مَعَ الدَّاخِلِينَ. They were told to go into the hellfire. ادْخُلَ النَّارَ مَعَ الدَّاخِلِينَ. This brings us back to one story. This one gentleman comes to Imam Zayn al-Abidin, salamullahi alayh. The name gives out what Imam Zayn al-Abidin is. His name is, Zayn is, if you will, the perfection, the best. When you decorate your house, it's called zina, right? Al-Imam salamullah alayh is the decoration of all abideen. Of course, we go back and we say, that does not include his father, that does not include his uncle, that does not include his grandfather, Ali ibn Abi Talib salamullah alayh, and most definitely does not include Rasulullah. But at the time of Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein, Zayn al-Abidin, there was no other person that did ibadah and worship like him. And that's why he was called Zayn al-Abidin, the decoration of all Abidin, and the master of Sajideen, wa Sayyidul Sajideen. One day, one gentleman, I believe it was Abi Hamza al-Thamali, he sees him and he's like, Mawlai, Ya Aba Muhammad, Mawlai, Ya Zayn al-Abidin, you are crying and you're asking Allah for forgiveness, and you are Ali ibn al-Hussein, Zayn al-Abidin, wa Sayyid al-Sajideen. Your grandfather is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Your grandfather is Rasulullah. Your grandmother is Sayyid al-Zahra. Your grandmother is Sayyida Khadija salamullah alayha. And you're asking Allah for repent. And Imam looks at him and he's like, Ya Aba Hamza, leave away my relationship to Ali ibn Abi Talib, my biological relationship, put that aside. My wala, wulayati li Ali ibn Abi Talib khayrun li min nasabi. It is more that I have wulayat to Ali ibn Abi Talib than I have relationship to Ali ibn Abi Talib. Biologically, it makes no difference. So what I am biologically related to, Al-Imam salamullah alayh. And he's like, Ya Aba Hamza, ama qara'at al-Quran yawma la ahsaba baynahum. There is no hasab, there is no relationship when it comes to Yawm al-Qiyamah. They call me by myself. They call Imam by himself. Okay? And inshallah, if we've made anything good, inshallah we would reach the rahmah and the intervention and the shafa'ah of Ahlul Bayt salamullahi alayhim. I would like to apologize about the fact that I should have synchronized my lectures with Maulana. It would have been more effective. But for some reason I did not think about it. And although tonight's lecture should have been last night. But anyways, so tonight's lecture I want to dedicate, and it's out of my pure apology to the sisters whom we, for a fact, we don't give much credit to. The first night I was here, Allah Ishad, the first night I was here, I told one of my friends, Said Karar, I said, I have got to go to Walmart. I got to go to Walmart. This is the one just north of here. And we walked in. Of course, I was wearing my thobe. I had my hadriya, and we both walked in. And we both wearing thobe. And he's like, what do you think these people are going to think about me? And I said, yeah, I know. It's going to be terrible. Some people were looking at me funny. Girls were looking around, walking around. They're like, oh my God, look at this guy, And I asked him, and I said, yes, it is very, seemingly it is humiliating for me to wear this. But I looked at him, and Allah yashhad. And I said, what do you think the sisters have to go through when it's June, July, and August? Wallahi, honestly, the hijab that the sisters have to wear and they have to go through, we don't devote much time to. But inshallah, I give you one hadith, and inshallah this hadith will not take long. You know that there are two kinds of hadith. There's a hadith al-Qudsi and there's a hadith al-Sharif. There's hadith al-Sharif that is narrated from Rasulullah, and it's something that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said. And that's called the hadith al-Sharif, and that's when people say, قال فلان عن فلان عن فلان عن فلان عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم, he said this. And this is what's called the hadith al-Sharif. There's a hadith that is called hadith al-Qudsi. And I want, if the sisters are listening to me, I want you to use this as your example. Okay? Al-Hadith al-Qudsi says, Ya Muhammad, and please don't just take the words that I'm saying and don't run away with them. Listen to until I finish. Inshallah, I will have enough time to finish it. Ya Muhammad, lawla Ali. This hadith is Qudsi. Afwan. This hadith is Qudsi. Hadith al-Qudsi is narrated through Rasulullah, by Rasulullah, through Jibreel, salamullahi alayh, from Allah. But it's not in the Quran. One other hadith, other than the one that I'm going to tell you, this hadith that says, kalimatu la ilaha illallah husni wa man dakhala husni amina adabi. This hadith, you will not find a verse in the Quran that says, kalimatu la ilaha illallah husni. But this is a hadith Qudsi. This is narrated in all books. This other hadith that I'm going to recite, that I'm going to tell you, says this hadith from Allah through Jibreel to Rasulullah. And then Rasulullah told his companions. And Rasulullah said, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad, lawla Ali ma khalaqtuka. If it wasn't for Ali, I would not have created you. Walawla Fatima. Walawla Fatima ma khalaqtukuma. Does that mean say that Zahra is better than Rasulullah? Definitely not. Does that mean Ali ibn Abi Talib is better than Rasulullah? No. What this means is Allah, remember the first night? أول ما خلق الله نوري. And then Imam Ali says, ثم خلق النور إلى نورين فقال الأول كن محمد وقال الآخر كن علي. If Rasulullah, let me ask you this. If Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was alone by himself and there was no Ali ibn Abi Talib throughout history, you think Islam would have survived? Definitely not. What did they say? قام الإسلام على ثلاث مال خديجة ومساعدة أبي طالب وسيف علي. Right? So Ali ibn Abi Talib is a big player, you know what they say in English, is a major player in Islam. So if it wasn't for Ali ibn Abi Talib, there is absolutely no support for Rasulullah. That's why Imam Ali was created, so he can support Rasulullah. Basically, if we go back and we say, well, I say it one more time, there's no human being that's better than Rasulullah. But they, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, this is my own translation, this is my own description, this is my personal understanding. Basically, Ya Muhammad, your creation would have been useless because if we did not create Ali ibn Abi Talib. And this is my personal translation. Please don't go or anything saying, Ja'fari say, Ali ibn Abi Talib is better than Rasulullah. There is no way. Now, why is it that Sayyidah Zahra, if it wasn't for her, Allah wouldn't have created both of them? Simple. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam inherited ilm al-anbiya min al-awwaleen ila al-akhirin. All the knowledge of all prophets from Adam until Rasulullah. Rasulullah inherited all of this nur, all of this ilm. And it was in Rasulullah. Ali ibn Abi Talib, according to our school of thoughts, inherited all of ilm al-wasiyyin. All of the disciples from all prophets, all the knowledge from Nabiyyin was into Rasulullah. All the knowledge of wasiyyin was into Ali ibn Abi Talib. How can we combine ilm al-nabiyyin wa ilm al-wasiyyin, and both of these people are male? We cannot combine them because they're both males. We need a female. This way, the ilm al-nabiyyin and ilm al-wasiyyin gets put together. Why? Because Islam is the seal. Rasulullah is Khatamun Nabiyyin. There is no religion that comes after Islam. This ilm has got to unite and be in one sulale, in one progeny, in one family. This happened to be as-Sayyidah Zahra, Salamullahi alayha. That's why her creation was very critical and very crucial in Islam, because through her, the knowledge of all the Nabiyyin and all the Wasiyyin was put together, and we have Ahlul Bayt, Salamullahi alayhim. I have exhausted all of my time. Jazakumullah khair. I have much more to say, but I have exhausted my time. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. نسأل الله لي ولكم العفو والعافية. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم، ورحم الله من يقرأ سورة الفاتحة مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.